Today's episode is sponsored by The Morning. Hello. Good morning. This has to be the earliest we've ever recorded.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
It is 9:30 a.m.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Listen, we don't stop until we give you all a product here.
Right.
Do I sound like I have a morning voice or do I sound normal?
You don't. Sorry, I'm getting interrupted already. I told you I would.
Oh, no.
Sophia, come here really quick. I'm
Special guest. We're on location as well.
We're on location. Come say hi really quick.
Oh,
okay. See?
Oh,
Say hi, baby.
Hi, Sophia.
Yeah. Say hi, Adrian.
Aw, Sophia's shy.
Sophia,
you have many fans. Say hello to the fans. Wait,
say
can
hi,
she hear
baby.
me?
No, she can't.
Oh.
Don't be nervous. Just say hi. Say
hi. Hi, Sophia.
Tell
Nice
him I know all about you.
I don't know all about you.
I know all about you.
He says he knows all about you. He's in my ear here.
I want to tell him he's scared to say.
No, here. Put
What
it on.
What did you say, Sophia?
So he can hear you.
Oh my God.
Put it on so he can hear you.
Hi, Sophia.
Hi, Adrian.
How are you?
Good.
Good. I heard you had a birthday not too long ago.
You did, huh? You turned 7?
Yeah, I turned 7.
My nephew turned 7 yesterday.
Wow. Say happy birthday to him.
Happy birthday, Adrian.
Well, Adrian's nephew.
His name is Emiliano. I'll let him know that you said happy birthday.
Okay.
Wonderful. Okay. Can you give me a couple minutes so I can talk to Adrian here? It kills her, but she'll do it.
Okay. Thank you, Sophia. I appreciate, and everybody who listens appreciates it. Thank you very much.
Adrian says he appreciates it very much.
Thank you.
Here, take Bella with you.
Bye, Bella.
And I put her on the floor.
No, baby, because she'll play with Rocket. Can you go with Grandma really quick, please? Thank you so much. I love you.
And I wanted to tell Adrian that he's scared of snakes.
Oh, okay. She saw your TikTok where you're scared of the snake. So she's like, can you tell him that I saw him be scared of a snake?
Children are terrorists. They just want to re-terrorize me.
Okay, I'm so sorry, but we are at Grandma's.
Listen, it's a special episode of You, Me, and Chisme. It is the morning. We're on location. Julie's on location. We already had I mean, this is the show of special guests.
Yeah, for sure.
Incredible. Okay, I forgot what. Oh, we were sponsored by The Morning. Welcome to You, Me, and Chisme, your number one source for chisme on the internet. Adrian and Julie here. Julie, how are you?
Hi. I am good. I'm here. I'm a little TMI for you this morning. We're bleeding and we're cramping, so we're not having a great time.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this
we're
day
struggling?
One?
This is day 2, so it's even worse.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Ooh. Okay.
And I feel disgusting.
We're gonna wrap this up in 10 minutes, everybody. Okay. I'm so sorry.
How are
Julie.
you doing?
Well, I'm doing, I think, better than you are.
I believe it.
It is Mother's. Oh my God! It is Mother's Day weekend. Oh my gosh! It is
not used to being up this early. I see.
I'm not used to talking this early.
Right.
It is Mother's Day weekend. Happy Mother's Day to your mom, Julie. Do you think she's going to make a special appearance?
Who knows? It's anybody's game at this point. There are 3 other humans in this house and 2 dogs and a bird. So let's see what happens. And there's one dog in the room right now, so he may have to poop at any moment.
Oh no. Tell me about the bird. What's the bird's name?
His name is Camilo.
And what kind of bird is it?
It's like a lovebird, I think that they're called.
Oh, I've never heard of a lovebird before.
Yeah, he's very cute, a little feisty,
Uh-huh.
but very cute.
It's not one that talks.
No,
That's only parrots, right?
I think so. I think maybe cockatoos. Is cockatoo a parrot?
I have
I
no
think
idea.
cockatoos talk a little bit. This one does not. But now that Sophia knows that cockatoos talk a little bit,
Wait, a lovebird
she
is a
wants
parrot.
one. Oh, is it? Well,
Lovebird is the
he doesn't talk.
Lovebird is the common name for the genus Agapornis, a small group of parrots in the
What'd
Old
you call
World
me?
parrot family Pistic
What'd you say?
Pisticudae. Pisticudae. I'm not sure how to say that.
And fuck
They
you
live
do.
they live 10 to 12 years, with some living even longer. Wow. And this is your mom's pet. This is your mom's
This
bird.
is Sophia's bird.
Oh, Sophia's bird.
Sophia got this as a present after she got a lot of green alerts in her school,
Oh,
which is like notes for good behavior, I guess.
but grandma takes care of it.
I mean, essentially, Sophia does like feed it and like
Uh-huh.
changes its water.
Uh-huh.
She does that, talks to it, says
Uh-huh.
goodbye to it when we leave the house, you know?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about what you've told Sophia about me, because she seemed to come in here ready to tear me apart. And so I think we're just curious as to what it was that she was about to say before you rudely shuffled her out of the room.
Sophia is very territorial.
Uh-huh.
You could have been the person that calls me about my doctor appointment, but if I'm talking to you, she doesn't like you.
Uh-huh.
If you have my number and we have communication, she's like, who is that and why are they calling you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she's like that with everybody. The other day we went to the dentist's office, or she came to the dentist with me, and I was like, you know, I'm a personable person, so we were like chit-chatting and laughing, and she was sitting down and came up to me and was like, are we leaving now? I'm like, okay, I guess we're leaving. Am I having too much fun for you, toxica? I'm like, Jesus.
She is a little toxica, huh?
She is.
Well, we love toxicas around here. Let me tell you.
Yes, we do. We have to.
It takes one to know one, right?
And happy Mother's Day to your mom, Adrian.
Thank you.
What are you guys? Do you have any fun plans?
I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do, but I am gonna go. I'm gonna hop in a car. My driver's gonna pick me up as soon as we're done, and I'm gonna head over. And by driver, I mean me getting in my car. I need to go put gas.
Oof.
And I might have a tire that is flat. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see.
That sounds horrendous.
The day awaits. The day
I'm
is
already
only
exhausted
beginning.
for you.
I know. You know, I have to get on to get home. I get on the 101, the 60, to the 71, to the 91, to the 15. Isn't that crazy? I mean, it's not as crazy, but
That's insane.
yeah, it takes me about with no traffic, it'll take me an hour and 20 to get to my parents' house.
An hour and 20?
Yeah. But with traffic, it could take me at least, maybe it could, depends on the day and the time. It could take me about 2 hours.
Oh my goodness.
I know. How long does it take you
I
to
can't
get
do that.
to your parents' house?
30 minutes.
30 minutes? Well, that's luxury.
Right.
For you,
But I
girl.
also leave like Saturday mornings to come
Right.
over here. So there's not going to be a lot of traffic. Sundays when I go home, sometimes it could take a little bit longer than that because everybody's going back.
40 minutes?
Yeah. Well, when I used to live in like Koreatown, that was insane. I hated that. There's no easy way to get from Koreatown to Orange County. You have to take a bunch of annoying ass freeways with annoying ass entrances and exits that stressed me the fuck out every single time I had to do it. I hated it. I hated it.
Ooh, your Koreatown era.
Oh,
Love that. Okay. Did you get your mom anything? Did you get her a gift?
I did. I got her a dress and I got her a candle because she always wants to steal my candles. So I got her a
Um,
candle. She loves a candle, and I got her this dress from Target that she really wanted last time, but she was like, "No, I won't get it. It's too expensive." I was like, "Okay, I'll just get it for you. Easy." What did you get your mom?
I'm probably gonna give her cash.
Love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
I mean, at this point, what can I get her? Like,
Yeah. Oh, my mom she has a list of things
oh,
that she would like. My mom is very easy to shop for.
that's
Yeah.
nice. I'm
Yeah.
still waiting for a son's day,
Yeah.
a daughter's day. What about
There
us?
is one in Mexico. Well, when you're little, there's like a day of the child.
Yeah, but I want a gift as an adult.
Right.
You know what
You
I mean?
know, I'm pretty lucky because I kind of get a present on Valentine's Day, on my birth.
Okay, we get it. You're you're the chosen one.
We just like, there's always a reason to give presents around here. So, yeah, the kiddos are extra lucky. They get Valentine's Day, Easter, the day of the child.
Ooh, your
Like,
kids are gonna be so spoiled.
I know. I know.
We're gonna need to teach them manners.
You know, Sophia's extremely spoiled, but she like also gets it. Like she gets presents all the time. Every time we go to the store, it feels like we buy her something. So every once in a while, we like to sprinkle a no in there because and like catch her off guard with it because so that she gets used to like the sudden
And does
of
she
like
throw a fit?
no
Not
she
anymore. Probably when she was
no
young.
she never
Like,
she's
oh,
never
never, never.
no you got to like get down to Super Nanny taught me you got to get down to eye level and you have to talk to them like they're an adult that can fully understand you.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it's like today we're going to the store to buy grandma's groceries
Uh-huh.
and we're not getting anything else. We're not gonna get
Uh-huh.
your present. We can walk by the toys and you can tell me, hey, I like this, hey, I like that, but we're not coming home with any of it.
Uh-huh.
And if there's an issue, then we're just gonna stay here in the car while grandma grocery shops. What do you think? And she's like, yeah, let's go, let's do it.
I mean, give Julie a nanny show, right?
Oh, it's all thanks to Super Nanny. Super Nanny and her crazy show that I used to watch over and over again.
I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, listen, Julie, it wouldn't be an episode without some fan mail. So
Mm,
I say we get right into it. It's
let's do
time
it.
for fan mail.
I'd like to point out that I'm completely sober and that was still 100% hilarious.
Okay,
So
thank you.
it's not the weight.
Okay. Okay, we have two pieces of fan mail today. So let's start with this one from Jaime.
Hi, Adrian and Julie. It's Jaime. I'm here battling with D for the number one spot for the number one fan. But just wanted to pose a question that I thought was fun. My husband Ken and I made some new friends recently, and they asked us this question. And I thought it was really fun, and I want to hear your take. But they had asked what your craziest hookup story is. It could be crazy as in like crazy scary, crazy wild, crazy fun. And just wanted to pose it to you both because I like when you both get like juicy and when Adrian turns into this like Dom top. I just think that that bit is really funny. But just want to know what your craziest hookup stories are. But can't wait to hear it. Love you guys.
First of all, not Jaime saying that my Dom top era is a bit. Thanks, Jaime.
They really know how to humble us.
Right. Also, I think Jaime and D should fight. I think it's the only way to solve it.
I agree.
Finally, Jaime, you're so fucking nosy. My God. Just kidding. Jaime, my roommate and best friend. Julie, do you want to go first?
Why are you trying to gauge how crazy mine is so you know which one to share? How rude.
That is literally not what I had thought about.
That's a liar. That's a
I sw-
bold-faced liar.
No, because I'm still not gonna be as wild and crazy as you.
I don't have a lot of crazy hookup stories. I feel like my craziest one is probably the threesome that I had. Like that, because that was very spontaneous. I was just talking to someone about it the other day, and I was like, I don't even know me, who I am as a person. I don't even know how I got to the point where I was in the middle of a threesome. Like, because I overthink everything in terms of sexual encounters. Like, I know I talk like a thirsty, horny asshole that's like, oh, freaking nipping in the butt to try to like get fucked, but I'm really not. Like, I'm very like, I have trauma involving sexual experiences, so like I overthink a lot. I like wait, and yeah, the threesome was just kind of like, let's do it. Today's the day. I had been talking to these people for a minute, and then it was like one random day that I got home, and I knew my roommate wasn't gonna be home, and I was like, this is it. Today's the day. And yeah, and I sent a text, and they were super down that same day, and I was like, 100%. And then when they were like downstairs and they like buzzed so that they could come upstairs, I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck did I do? Like, it's too late to turn back. So I just went through with it. But it was honestly top 5 best experiences of my life. It was like great communication, great. Like, I felt safe. It wasn't like there was no weirdness, which was weird because I didn't actually know them. Like, so I met them on Tinder. So that was, yeah, but it was good.
Okay. Love that. I'm trying to think if I have any scary ones. I didn't hook up with this man, but I did go to his house, apartment. He was slightly older, and I had to leave. I don't know if I've told this story before, but I literally, it was disgusting. There were cats in there, and
already bad.
I mean, it wasn't very clean. And
how did you get out of there?
I literally told him, I can't do this. I'm so sorry. I have to go.
And what'd he say?
Okay. I mean,
I love that.
Yeah, no, I mean, he was a nice man, but the picture lied. And it just was it was there was absolutely no way in hell that I was going to do anything or
I love that for you.
Take off my clothes there.
Yeah.
Luckily he was very nice, so that was great.
That's good.
The one time I hooked up with a man and he didn't know how to kiss. He literally just kept his mouth open like this.
No.
Yeah, he didn't know how to do it. He literally just kept his mouth open. So that was not fun. One time
that is so weird.
These are mostly from college because I was more of a slut in college.
Yeah.
And then
I feel like everyone is. Like, you're like, the reality of the world is so not even close to comprehension in your brain that you're just like, that doesn't sound crazy at all. I'm gonna go meet up with this person, and who knows. Yeah, crazy. Yeah. I was talking about with Katie, because my friend Katie and I were friends in high school, and in high school I was chaotic, getting in cars with boys that like I did not know. It's like there was zero fear, zero second guessing, zero overthinking, zero. I was just like, we're gonna have a great time. There was no scenario in my brain getting into that car where I was like, I could die. That never even came in my brain.
Right.
It's wild.
Right. Yeah, I guess I was in quite a few precarious situations. I went with this one man, I believe his name was Dean. He picked me up, and I wouldn't be able to tell you where we went, but it was dark.
Wow.
and then we hooked up in his car. There was a one time where I hooked up with somebody outside of a church. There was another time when I hooked up with a man where I paid for a Motel 6. I shouldn't have done that.
Right. Oh my goodness.
There was the time that I had a threesome in college too. With this
Wow.
married couple who were so lovely.
Mhm.
Yeah. And most of these people picked me up and then dropped me off because I didn't have a
Yeah.
car in college. And then there's a couple on campus. Those were fun. Those were nice. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, nowadays I just please myself and there's no better pleasure.
You know what? Ain't that the truth? Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Jaime, what is your craziest? How about that? How about you, right? You should have sent in your little example.
Let me tell you. Could you imagine if I just started telling his business?
I love how Jaime's trying to fight for the #1 spot of our #1 listener, but he's constantly like berating us, asking us to be 100% vulnerable, calling us out on shit. How do you want the #1 spot when you're always shaming us, Jaime? And basically like expose yourself, guys. He's
Jaime, how dare you?
How dare
How
you?
dare you?
Just kidding. I love it.
Yeah, just kidding, Jaime. Thank you, Jaime.
Thank you, Jaime.
Well, Jaime, you may want to skip this next part because it's your competition.
Yeah.
Next up, we have fan mail from D. So let's get into that.
Okay, I have a couple things to say. First of all, unfortunately, there's no woman that can make Kelly happy because she makes it painfully obvious how straight she is. Like, she goes out of her way to tell us how straight she is because people think she's gay. And she's been fighting these lesbian allegations all her career. So, she's always... Rod Stewart was on. I don't know if you saw that one. And he was talking about a song and he was like, so, hey, just imagine you just made love to a woman. And she was like, oh, gotta put my imaginary hat on or something like that. We get it, Kelly, you're straight. But yeah, she's very unfortunately heterosexual. The other thing that I wanted to say is Brie Larson, you talked about her. And I think a lot of people's introduction to Brie Larson was either Room or Captain Marvel. But my introduction to her was the United States of Tara. Now, I don't know if either one of you's seen the United States of Tara, but it's excellent. It's brilliant. I wouldn't normally recommend a show like that because there's no ending, but it's just that good. And Toni Collette is an acting god. Like, she's unbelievable. So highly recommend just to be entertained by Toni Collette's brilliance. Now, Jake Gyllenhaal. First of all, Julie, you're right. You're right. I have to accept you for all your flaws. So I will. And yes, I have seen, I want to say probably almost all of his filmography, if I'm being honest. And he's not a good actor. He's a great actor. He is a fantastic actor. But babes, that don't excuse him being a dick. You can't be like, oh, D, he's a dick in all his interviews. That's just how he, come on. I don't excuse him. But you know what? I don't want to fight anymore, Julie. I don't want to fight. So, okay, I'm going to let it go. And the last thing I'll say is,
oh, it's not over.
Oh man, I've had 2 horrific days in a row, like really extremely stressful and traumatic, and like just some really, really bad days. And I listened to this podcast, and without fail, you lifted my spirits. Artists like you, the writers who are on strike, writers who write novels, painters who paint, musicians who make music. Artists are so important. They comedy is art. It feeds our soul. And I know it saved me time and time again. And it is an extremely important career. And you both should continue to pursue your respective arts. And thank you. Thank you for sharing yourselves with us, because you put a huge smile on my face when I really needed it. So thank you.
I just got called an artist.
Oh my God, dear.
Take that, Leonardo da Vinci.
Oh, that was a beautiful voice memo. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Dee.
I will watch that show even though it doesn't have an ending because all you had to say was Toni Collette. And I love some Toni Collette. My introduction to Brie Larson, though, was Short Term 12, which is an independent movie. I think Daniel Kaluuya was in it. A lot of artists that are like actors that are big names now are in that film, and it's really good. Fine.
Well,
Okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying about Jake Gyllenhaal. What?
Well, I was gonna say my introduction to Brie Larson was her Colgate commercial when she was 12. Seeing how we're all trying to one up each other.
You do. You win. You win. You absolutely win. I do look. First of all, if we go back on the tapes, I don't think I said he's a dick in all of his interviews. But he does let the dick out sometimes. He lets it out. I wish he would. No, but he does allow it to come out sometimes. So, and I'm not saying it's okay, and I'm not saying that it's good. I'm just saying that I've seen enough interviews to see that he's like this awkward man who is very rich and very privileged, and sometimes is completely out of touch and doesn't understand his tone or how to joke around with people. Like he not saying it's right. That's what I'll say about that. And also, thank you for the compliment. Hi, Matt. Take notes. That's how you tear someone down and lift them back up. Okay. You don't do the lifting back up. You just tear us down. I'm just kidding. I appreciate both of the voice memos. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Listen, we just try to put on a show.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's more complicated than others, but we just
today specifically.
We just try to put on a good show. We're just trying our hardest. What else did Dee mention? I'm
Kelly Clarkson
stuck on the part where she called us artists. I think she was mostly talking about you, but
no, I think she was talking about both of us.
Thank you. My ability to, my friend Xavier, he lives in London, and I need to respond to him, but he texted me the other day, and he said, what did he say? He said, I always think about how you said you wanted to host a talk show, and I think the Graham Norton show is exactly your energy. Look into it.
That is so funny.
And it's actually funnier because he lives in London now, and the only reason he knows about Graham Norton is because he's lived in London for the last couple of years, which I
not necessarily true, because I live in America and I know about Graham Norton.
I'm talking about him specifically.
Oh, okay.
I know about Graham Norton too, but I'm talking about my friend Xavier.
That is hilarious.
And so, anyways,
that would absolutely be your shit, though.
That is my art. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. If anybody listening wants to make it happen, I am available.
Yeah.
Yes. So listen, I think you and Dee should fight for who will get the final say on Jake Gyllenhaal.
Right.
So
I fear that she would win. Because at the end of the day, there's too much bias on my end already.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I've loved his work for so long that I don't excuse all his behavior, mind you. He did get knocked down a point when I heard about his whole Soul Cycle little story.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, what we're not going to do is embarrass me in public like that. That's what we're not going to do. Right. So Colin Farrell is still number one. Let us not forget. Colin Farrell is still number one in my book. But yeah, Jake is talented. He's so talented. And I wish he'd remember that because his projects lately, it's like he's forgotten that he's talented.
Right. Well, he needs the money. And
I don't think he does.
Well, I think he does. And I think he can't get over the fact that he hasn't won an Oscar. And
I think that's what it is, that he's pissed off about it.
I think he also is upset that he's not getting offered certain roles anymore.
I agree. And then I think, says me knowing zero things about Jake. I think there is a reputation behind the scenes
Of
about maybe
course.
being a little difficult to work with and being a little maybe pretentious and taking things a little bit too seriously. But because he doesn't talk about it in interviews, he's not like, I get on here and I'm a method actor kind of guy. No one else is really talking about it. It's just like whispers behind the scenes. So I think people are like, well, it's not worth the effort. There's other guys that are super talented.
Have you talked to Anne?
About Jakey
Mm-hmm.
Jakes? No, but she did say she had some chisme and she never shared it. So Anna,
And
do you know the chisme?
I
Do
was
you know
about
the
I can't remember if this is a story she told me or not. I'm not going to repeat it because I don't know if it is. And so, but you should talk to her. Because if it's a story that I'm thinking about, then yeah, maybe you should you should talk to her.
Anna, I'm a little offended that I don't know already because I do recall saying the DMs are open. I would love to hear that story. And then you essentially ghosted me.
But we're not going to repeat it on the pod because
Of course not.
yeah, don't worry.
Because now
Anna.
everyone knows that Anna's the one that told us. Right. No,
Yeah.
we're not going to repeat it on the pod. But I would love to know.
Yeah.
Just for knowledge, for science.
For research
Yeah.
and knowledge and
Yeah.
data
Mm-hmm.
and statistics.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Thank you, Dee. Thank you, Jaime, for sending in fan
Thank
mail.
you.
We always appreciate it. You both are our number one fans, so we love it. Okay. Listen, it's a special day here at Yumi and Chisme. It is very special. And so should I just give it to you, Julie? Should I just let you speak?
So as we all know, Blindspotting, y'all are tired of hearing about it, but I feel like none of you have downloaded the Starz app and started watching the show, so I will not shut up about it until you all do and come and tell me. Thank you, Julie, for bringing this into our lives. So Blindspotting is a show on Starz. It's on its second season. It started off as a movie in 2018. It was released as a film starring Rafael Casal and Davi Diggs. They both wrote it and starred in it. And now the show is like an extension of that. The movie was more about David Diggs's character, and then now the show is about Rafael Casal's character and his girlfriend, who is played by Jasmine Cephas Jones. The show deals with what incarceration and the system of incarceration puts a family through and will put a community through. And it brings heart to it, and they do it in such an interesting way. They use dance and spoken word to amplify the emotions. This season really dives into how painful it can be to be part of a family where one of your members is incarcerated, whether warranted or not. It's still a difficult situation to be put into. And we somehow, by the grace of the universe, got granted. Y'all aren't ready, because I wasn't ready when I got the email on Monday morning. We got granted an interview, which is so wild to even say. We got to interview Jasmine Cephas Jones, the star of Blindspotting. And it was a fever dream, some may say. An absolute fever dream. I was a couple of anxiety attacks away from passing out, but you know what? I powered through. I took deep breaths. I hyped myself up. I thought, I can't believe this is happening, and I can't believe this is happening for literally my favorite show. Like, this is the first introduction to me interviewing someone. So I summoned the power of Adrian because I did the interview by myself, and I said, Adrian has taught you the way, so you need to do this. I drafted some questions, I practiced them, I practiced transitions. I was like, do not stutter, do not be a fool. And somehow I think it went okay. I mean, I could say great, but I think it went okay. And she's Jasmine is so kind and like open. You can just like tell I'm like very big on energy.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what someone gives they receive kind of thing, and like she was just very open to the questions, and she gives very beautiful long-winded answers which help into the transitions and help create conversation, which was even more helpful because I was so nervous. I was like actively sweating and my hands were like
Cancer.
huh.
She's a Cancer, Jasmine. Yeah. Which is incredible. I love Cancers. But it just makes her very, calming and empathetic and sweet.
And she was. And it's a great, I think it's like 15-minute interview. We got 15 minutes with her and it was wonderful. We got to talk about the show, which I think the season finale is at the end of this month. So I don't know what you guys are waiting on. I don't know. Do I need to call you guys individually and remind you to download the Starz app? Because I feel like I've been here raving about the show for years, some may say. And yet I've received 0 DMs that are like, Julie, I did it. I watched it. I'm obsessed with it. Because if you do watch it, that's exactly what you'd say, that you're obsessed with it. So without further ado, here's the interview between me and Jasmine Cephas Jones talking about her show, Blindspotting. I hope you enjoy it. And hopefully this is one of many more to come.
Woo! Go, Julie! Our first real come on the pod interview. I'm sure we've said Jasmine come on the pod.
Yes. And she came on the pod.
Okay. Awesome. Here we go. Enjoy.
Okay. Hi, Jasmine.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, very excited to talk about the show because my friends are tired of hearing about it. So I'm finally ready. So I actually think Blindspotting was released in a coincidentally perfect time because I think it makes a great argument for why writers are so important. And specifically with the spoken word moments throughout the season, they're so special. How much work goes behind the scenes to get those moments right?
Well, a lot of work. They go through a lot of rewrites, I think, depending. Some of them are set in stone from the beginning, and others, like the one that I do in episode 5, I got less than 24 hours before I did it. And so, it just has to be right,
Right.
And oh man, I think on my end, it's heavy analyzation. It's, if you ever looked at my script for these verses, it's circling in different colors, it's highlights, it's so much writing. And I just try to get it memorized in my head where I just don't have to think about the words, and I can just be so present while we're doing it. But we always talk about that these verses are Ashley's letters to Sean when he gets older, so he can understand emotionally what she kind of went through. They're whispers to the audience. If they're ever wondering truly how she's feeling, it's her most honest moments with herself and to everybody else. And a lot of the times we're running out of light, so I don't get a lot of time to kind of perform them, so that's one of the unfortunate things about TV is that there are rewrites and you don't have a lot of time to rehearse. You kind of like get 10 minutes, you kind of do the blocking, do whatever you have to do, and then you're on. And so in that way, it's, when I'm doing the verses, they can be very, very challenging in that way. But they're like exercises, and they make me a better artist, after I do them. And if ever I'm thinking that I can't, do something, it really does like push me, to to be a better artist. And whenever I'm like, I don't know if I can do it, or I have any doubt in my mind, you know, I always end up doing it, and I always kind of come out on the other side. So it's, the verses are everything. It's my favorite thing that Ashley does in the show. And I think, you know, breaking the fourth wall and all of a sudden like addressing the audience in that way is a very beautiful way of storytelling, I think, and can kind of get to the audience very quickly in this kind of like performative, theatrical, beautiful way.
And it feels like that, you know, when you watch those moments, it almost feels like you're watching a stage play, a monologue, very raw, palpable. I definitely cried a couple times watching this last season, because I was specifically the one you mentioned. I think it's in the Karate Kiss episode, that just feels so, after this big moment in Ashley's life, and you kind of just break down, and it's like a mixture of, I shouldn't be watching this. This is a very vulnerable moment for her, but also like, I kind of feel like she's my friend now. Like, she's my friend, and she's like, I'm going to let myself have this moment of pure anger.
Pure anger, you know. I think like she's going through a lot of pain, and I think, you know, she's kind of become this villain in this way, because, you know, she's kissed somebody else, and, you know, while she was kissing him, she had Miles in her mind. Like, it's just so sad. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
kissing him because she wants to kiss somebody else. She's like literally picturing Miles as she's kissing this man. Yeah. And so it's just, she's going through so much pain, and she's so sad, but she's also just so angry, because she's just like, I'm just trying to do it all, and I'm not perfect, and I fuck up sometimes, and I'm not a bad person, but I'm also just like, don't mess with me. I'm so angry right now, you know? Like, it's so relatable, you know?
It's so relatable. And I think that was it was done beautifully you see Ashley make this mistake, and you kind of hope that no one ever finds out about it, because you're like, this woman is broken and she's hurting and she did something stupid. And I just hope no one in her family ever has to know. And she just deals with it internally. When you read the script for that episode, what did you think about Ashley's actions?
Well, it was a thing that we've talked about for a while, of like, is she going to be tempted to something, you know, does she stay loyal to Miles? Like, what's going to happen? I think when I read it, I was like, no, actually, I think, but then immediately I just went to this feeling of, oh God, she's just going through so much pain, you know, just because I'm playing her. So I'm like, how do I, what do I think of it? And to me, it's, I'm not angry at her. I just feel really sorry for her. I think, you know, that's what it is, because she's, you know, she's becoming friends with somebody that's kind of guiding her down the wrong path. You know, she really should be doing is communicating honestly and going to therapy and looking after her mental health. But she's doing any of those things. She's going to the bottle, you know, and she's going out, and she's not being honest with herself, you know, until really that moment. And she's really confronting what she's actually going through, you know. But sometimes you gotta hit the low lows in order to like get back up again, you know. And I think she hit her ultimate low in that moment. So
and I think that's the beautiful part about the show. That's like, here's all the ugly. There's some joy that you find along the way, but here's as bad as it can get sometimes for these families that are in this situation. So you have Karate Kiss, which is the one episode of Ashley where she makes this mistake. And then right after that, it's like the writers were like, I'm going to twist the knife a little bit and I'm going to give you the Western episode, which is gut wrenching in its own way because it looks beautiful and fun to watch. And then when you connect the dots as to why you're seeing this kind of Western episode, which is that it's happening in the imagination of Sean, the child, gut-wrenching.
I know.
But the episode looked very fun to film. Was it as fun as it looked on screen?
Oh my God, we had so much fun. I like literally learned how to ride a horse for this episode.
Insane.
Never rode horses before. I mean, it was such an amazing experience. And Raphael directed that episode. You know, that episode's like his baby. And, you know, it's kind of like seeing him like a little kid, just like, you know, getting to film, you know, his Western. And I mean, it's just so cool. I mean, you know, Ashley's the villain in the episode. You know, she just because of like what she just did, you know, so she's this outlaw, you know, she's running away from something and she doesn't really explain why, but it just makes so much sense in Sean's mind, you know, like something's wrong, you know, she doesn't say why, he doesn't know. And then all of these characters that he knows, you know, pops up and, you know, and then you get the whole visitation thing that happens throughout it. But I'm just like, what a way to bring like this art and this idea to life, explaining through Sean's eyes of like what also how he's affected by the prison system. And the way that, you know, through his imagination that goes back to episode 3, you know, of the visitation, you know, and we're using finger guns, and that's how, you know, the whole scene like breaks out in the Western as well, you know. So it's just so smart. It's if you really analyze it and go through it all, you're kind of seeing where we're taking things from in the show. And so what a great way to explain also what Sean is going through and how his father being in prison is affecting him.
Right. And a great way to start conversations if you happen to watch it with children as to the reality of it. Because I think sometimes it's difficult to explain these massive life moments to children. But this kind of like, it's a game. We're going to talk about it like in a game, and it's going to be gut-wrenching nonetheless. And I think that little realization that it's a visitation is like, well, like it totally caught me off guard. I was like, I thought we were having a cute little Western episode. I didn't know we were gonna cry at the end of it.
No, but that's what the show does.
It does, and it must be so fun.
It's funny, and then you're like, oh wow, this is so real.
And that's the thing too. That's just life, you know. 1 minute you're laughing and the next you're like, oh, remembering a horrible thing that just happened to you a couple of weeks ago. And I think that's the beauty of Blindspotting, that they sprinkle in some comedy in between, which helps to feeling like you're watching a bunch of your friends live this life. So it's very fun. I thought season 2 was great. I'm not gonna lie to you, it felt like a finale, like a series finale at the end. So I'm a little nervous. I am a little nervous. But if this is the end of the story, what do you hope people take away from Ashley?
Oh man. What do I hope people take away? I think lean on your loved ones. I think sometimes Ashley's blind spot is that she feels like she has to do everything by herself and she has to do it all alone. And, you know, she can't get through any of this without, you know, her family and her friends and her tribe. You know, I think I think it's okay to be your authentic self And if you have all of these emotions, it's all right, but like get them out, you know, learn,
Yeah.
learn how to express them in a healthy way. I think, that episode 2 in season 1, when she takes the tennis racket, and she like trashes the hotel room. When I read it, just as a woman and a woman of color, it's like there's so many times where I wish I just could have done that. And I feel like Ashley did that for all of us women. So I don't know. I think there's so much to take away from this show, and there's so much to take away from Ashley. But at the end of the day, this show, I hope, if anything, it's just to start a conversation, really. It's bringing humanity to people that can just seem like a number or a piece of information on the news, yeah. And it's so much deeper than that.
Right.
And I think we are, as actors, we are vessels for people to understand, we bring the emotion to something that can just be a number or a piece of information. So that was a very loaded answer, but I hope.
No, I love that answer, specifically because I did want to tell you before we wrap this up that I go back and watch that Smashly scene all the time. It's on Twitter. The Blindspotting account posted it, and I go on there and I watch it over and over again because I think it's a great reminder. I'm very good at suppressing feelings, a pro at it. And so I think I go back and watch that scene, and I just remember sometimes you need to be angry. Sometimes you can't suppress. Sometimes you need to be mad, and you need to cuss out somebody and smash some stuff and somehow still leave that space with strength. Because I think sometimes we think that if we fall apart and we cry and we do all these things, well, that was weakness. And I think that Ashley reminds us, not only in that episode, but I think throughout the entire season, both seasons, that anger is warranted and valid, and you're still so strong for feeling it and going through it, and sometimes even stronger for doing so. And I think you bring that to the role beautifully.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was great talking to you. Thank you so much for making time for me. And I can't wait to see what else you got going on, because I follow every little update you post on Instagram. I'm like, oh, a new album? Okay, let me tune in.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Julie. Yay. Congrats, Julie.
I did it. Thank
that
you.
was so good. Congratulations. Yay.
Thank you so much.
Remind everybody where they can watch Blindspotting again.
On Starz. Starz with the Z at the end. You can download the Starz app. You can add Starz to your Amazon account. You can add Starz to your Hulu account. There's 2 seasons. We're in the middle of the 2nd season. And the 2nd season is so good, guys. I cannot. We're in the middle of a writer's strike. And I think I told Jasmine at the beginning of this interview, and I'm going to say it again here. I think Blindspotting makes a great argument to why writers are so important, because not only are the scenes beautifully written, but the spoken word verses are so gut-wrenching. Jasmine has one, I think in episode 5, that just like blew me away. And they tackle so many topics. They do an episode, I think it's episode 3, where they, Rafael Casal is white presenting, and Jasmine Cephas Jones is, I believe she's mixed. And so they have a child who is also mixed, and they talk to him about the N-word because he asks about it. And now they have to talk to him about whether he can say it, why that word exists, how it has evolved. And it's painful, and I'll tell you, beautiful, and 0 words are spoken while they explain it. I'll just tell you that. And it's a beautiful portrayal of this conversation, because there's no right way to have that kind of conversation. But I do think that whether you are white, Black, Mexican, whatever, you have to have conversations with your children about the N word. You have to, no matter if it's directly affecting you or not. They have to understand the power of that word and whether they can or cannot say it. And I think that's a great episode that shows that. Yeah, it's just a great season. So please, someone, anyway, if one of you watches Blindspotting, my work here is done. I can die happy. So who's it gonna be? Hi, Mandy. Y'all are both fighting for the number one spot. This will tell me.
Jasmine Cephas Jones, the original Peggy Schuyler, by the way, on
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Jasmine, for coming on the pod.
Thank you.
And thank you, Julie.
Thank you, Adrian.
You're a star, baby. You're a star. Okay, well, it wouldn't be an episode of Chisme without the pop culture pop-up. First up on the pop culture pop-up, Julie, did you hear?
That's me.
Did you hear?
What about what?
About the drama at the Kelly Clarkson Show?
I did hear.
There was an interview, or there was a story on Rolling Stone about how staff at the Kelly Clarkson Show feel like they are working in a unhealthy, toxic environment. They're blaming the producers, and they're saying that Kelly Clarkson is unaware and she is a doll. Julie, what else can you tell us? And what are your thoughts?
So yeah, I mean, the article puts a very big emphasis on the fact that Kelly Clarkson has no idea at the time that this was going on behind the scenes. But you know, the 12 people that came forward were current and past employees that worked on the show, and they say that, you know, the show is like detrimental to their mental health. They are overworked, underpaid. I mean, you've heard it time and time again when it comes to these TV shows and what's going on behind the scenes. And essentially who the problem is the producers, which seems to be the issue. I mean, with the Ellen situation, it was also the producers, but I mean, Ellen just exacerbated the issue, which here it looks like Kelly Clarkson had no idea that it was happening. Since then, Kelly has released a statement that I didn't pull up, but I'm gonna do it right now. But she has since released a statement about the situation, and I'm going to tell you what she said in 3 seconds. And you can cut this off. You can just cut that off, and no one's going to know. Okay. She said, "In my 20 years in the entertainment industry, I've always led with my heart and what I believe to be right. I love my team at the Kelly Clarkson Show, and to find out that anyone is feeling unheard and or disrespected on this show is unacceptable. I have always been and will continue to be committed to creating and maintaining a safe and healthy environment at the Kelly Clarkson Show. As we prepare for a move to the East Coast, her show is currently moving from Los Angeles to New York City for the next season. I am more committed than ever to ensuring that not only our team that is moving, but also our new team in New York is comprised of the best and kindest in the business. Part of that build will include leadership training for all of the senior staff, including myself. There's always room to grow and ensure we are all becoming the best version of ourselves in any business, especially when it comes to leadership, to ensure that any notion of toxicity is eradicated. Kelly." Maybe my bias is showing. I think that's a great response to the article. I think it takes accountability. It's not like it never says I had no idea. What am I supposed to do? I had no idea. It's like I wasn't aware, but this is the steps that I'm taking to remedy the situation. I feel like sometimes sincerity is really all it takes for forgiveness and for a step to move forward and be like, okay, well, she's going to work on it. I mean, now it's up to, you know, results, right? And see if it actually happens. I mean, but it's going to be hard. She's the face of the show, but there's so many other people calling the shots behind the scenes.
Right. I mean, I think she shows up, not that she is not involved, but like a lot of the time it's like the producers are the ones who are doing all the work, or in the sense that like they're running the staff. I think that anytime a show becomes successful, there's an immense amount of pressure put on people to continue the success because it begins. It's somebody's. The Kelly Clarkson Show is somebody's answer to money, and so I am sure that there's pressure put on the people who are working on that show to produce a product that is of a certain quality every day, and I can imagine that that is a very stressful situation. And so I wonder what, like, I I guess it's just kind of like we're not saving lives here.
Right.
It's a daytime talk show.
Yeah.
You know, like obviously there is some pressure to put on a good show, but also like why do people have to be so mean? And you know, the craziest thing is like we're kind of in a situation where like people who work at shows like this are able to shed light on the toxicity that happens, but people that work in a regular old office where it is probably even more toxic um can't go to the Rolling Stone and say my office, you know, it's like it's the same thing.
Right.
So, you know, these things are happening in every office, in every job across the world. And I believe that wholeheartedly because what I do know is that a lot of people don't know how to manage people, don't know how to work with other people, don't know how to be good leaders, don't really know how to do much. And when you put those people in positions of power, you're going to end up with toxic work environments.
Yeah.
And I have come to learn that most of us, a lot of us, most of us, all of us, um, have some type of issue
Mm-hmm.
that we all have to work through. And it can be more heightened for some than others, but like we also, I think, expect too much from people. Like I literally had this thought the other day and I was completely sober. But I was like, and this is gonna maybe sound a little cuckoo, but it's like, isn't it crazy that we're on this planet and like
I think that all the time.
we're like living and eating and breathing and feeling, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is so wild that
Yeah.
we have created this society and there's really no rules. And like, we've created poor people. We've created
Right.
homeless people. We have
Right.
everything that we see. We've created toxic work culture. And like we have the ability to undo it, but we
Yeah.
don't. And it's just wild to me because we're only here for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And we make life difficult for people.
Right.
And there could be another planet somewhere that we'll never discover that is maybe just as advanced as us, where there's living, breathing human beings
Mm-hmm.
and probably live in peace.
Right.
But we'll never know peace because
Yeah.
we have been brainwashed and and set certain expectations on people, and now we have a toxic work culture at the Kelly Clarkson Show because of it.
I agree. And you know what? I think stuff like that all the time where I mean, I get a little bit more chaotic in my thinking where it's like, okay, when are we going to get tired of it? Like, when's the uprising? When are we going to finally be like, you know what? We have the power to change it. We could totally dismantle the system. But it takes a lot of organized people to do something like that. And unfortunately, the human race is not a very organized people. So
Well, we've also been conditioned and we're given tools to suppress that
yeah,
because we've been given, you know, phones with computers and apps with ongoing and endless scrolling of content that distracts us from all of the
yeah,
other things that are happening. And
yeah,
you know, we're fed what other people want us to learn and to know. And so
Right.
it probably will never
I
be
agree.
an uprising.
But I do think that it's gonna get worse before it gets better. Especially with like all of the dismantling of the media organizations and so many people getting laid off in the entertainment industry. I think we're gonna see whatever joy we have be slowly taken away from us. And I don't think people are freaking out about it enough, to be quite honest. And I would hate to work in the entertainment industry full time right now. I mean, because your job is not safe anywhere right now. You could be laid off at any moment if you work anywhere in the entertainment industry, and that is so scary.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. Ugh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's also these people who run these companies who also don't really care about anybody or anything,
Right.
except for
Yeah.
them making millions and millions and millions of dollars. Which,
Yeah.
how about you give one of those million to me?
Yeah. Just one?
Asshole.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it. Kelly, come on the pod. This would be a great show for you to come on. We just had an interview with Jasmine Cephas Jones, so I think that you should come on the pod and we can talk about this.
Yeah.
And we can talk about the realities of running a business, because what you essentially do is run a business at your show, and so it can be difficult sometimes.
Right.
Okay.
Agreed.
Next up on the Pop Culture Pop-Up, we talked about this last week in hypothetical terms, but today we can talk about it in facts. Taylor Swift and Matt Healy they're dating. I'm going to say it. They're dating. And he was at her Nashville shows. He came out and performed with Phoebe Bridgers, who is her opening act. Did I see this, that they mouthed words to each other at one point in two
That's
separate
what
parts of
people
the
are
show?
saying. Well, no, that he mouthed some words in one of his 1975 shows, and she essentially mouthed the same words at her Eras Tour show.
Barf.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's the thing about being a fan of Blondie. It's up and down. You know, one day you're living the dream. You're high as a kite. You're loving her music. The next day, you remember she's a privileged white woman, and she's going to do what privileged white women do, which is date a racist, because that's what Matty Healy is. I mean, and everyone, like all his little fans are like, you know, he's not a racist. He was recently made absolutely racist remarks recently. That's not a persona. I will not accept that some little rocker, pop rocker out there has created this persona that's misogynistic and racist, but that's like his shtick. No, baby. No, baby. And why are we supporting that shtick if it is a shtick? That says something about you. I hate to tell you. I don't love this. I don't love this. And I think it just reminds everyone that at her core, Taylor Swift will forever be a privileged white woman who does not get it. Who does not get it until she is pushed to get it by her fans, until she is pushed to the back of the wall where she has nowhere to go. And she's like, fine, I'll make a statement. I'm going to do it. I'll stand by something. Yeah, it's disheartening. It's depressing. It's disheartening because there's already been this conversation about the Eras Tour in terms of like mean girl behavior and her fan base being very mean to either people of color at the shows or like people that aren't skinny and white, you know. So depending on how their people get judged because of how they're dressed, and just a mean girl, bad concert etiquette, there's already this conversation happening. And so now to see, well, yeah, she's exactly who you thought she was. She's not going to say anything. Then I actually have another bone to pick with her. It's the time of day where I have bones to pick with Blondie. So here's the thing about Blondie. There is a guy. His name is Michael Arellano. Michael Arellano, who on TikTok created the Bejeweled dance. It went viral on TikTok. Everyone and their mom was doing it.
What is the Bejeweled dance? Is that like
So-
something related to her song?
Bejeweled is her song,
Oh,
and then he did like a little dance to one of the verses, and then it like went, or I think it's the chorus, and it went crazy. Everyone was doing it. The song went viral. The song's freaking everywhere now.
Got it.
Taylor, oh my god, that's such a shock because I feel like I hear it every other freaking second.
Uh-huh.
But
Bejeweled
now
is like a
Taylor-
game that people play on their iPads now.
It is. But she also has a song titled that. And she is doing the dance, the TikTok dance, she's doing it in her choreography on the tour. And I think from what I'm gathering from what Michael is saying, that the Taylor Nation, her people reached out to him, said, can we use this dance on her tour? We'll give you 2 tickets to whatever show you want to go to. And he was like, yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll take it. This is the show I want to go to. Yesterday, May 12th, he posted a video saying, and then I didn't hear back from them. And the show that I picked is supposed to be the one for tomorrow, for today, the 13th, the day that we're filming this. So he's like, I haven't heard back. So he's like, I'm just making this video. Of course, he got tagged. Then he made a follow-up video like a couple of hours later that was like, it's fine. I'm going to the show. It's fine. I'm going to the show, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'm side-eyeing that entire situation. I'm side-eyeing it because you didn't think to give him money for that dance that is clearly so good. I mean, it's a couple of steps and it's a little shimmery, but look, you used it in your tour. You didn't think that he would benefit financially from that. He should benefit financially from that. It's just it makes me feel some type of way.
It's giving I'm focusing too much on like Easter eggs and not enough on the business here.
It's actually not. I think her fans focus on Easter eggs more than Taylor Swift does.
I think you know
I do.
I still don't understand the hype, if you will.
Right.
And that's musically. I think that Swifties are nasty people, and I think that I find it very weird that I think out of most fandoms that people go really, really hard for Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And we don't know her.
We don't know her.
It's difficult for me to understand how people can like go really, really hard for people that they only know a certain persona of, like, how are you defending this person over somebody that you actually know? And it's odd to me. And people are very, very passionate about Taylor Swift. Very. And I don't know why.
I mean, I think it has to do with her music and her lyrics and the fact that people feel like she helps them heal in their heartache. And I mean, I do think that's a very special connection. I mean, if you come on here and try to tell me something about Sarah Bareilles, we might have some problems and some issues.
Right,
okay?
right.
So I feel like sometimes music is so intimate and you listen to it and some of your most vulnerable and sad and depressing moments that you dare not speak out loud to other people, that it does feel like this human being knows me and I know them because they're sharing this thing with me. And we're connected by this thing that we both have gone through. So I do understand the allure and I do understand the obsession. Not that I feel the obsession. I enjoy her music and I think she's extremely talented and extremely intelligent, but I'm not like, I'm not gonna go kill for her, which I sometimes fear her fandom would. So, but at the end of the day, I think there is a lot of problematic behavior from Taylor Swift that we all choose, a la Jake Gyllenhaal, to ignore sometimes, because she is so talented and she has healed so many, and she is this powerful woman, because when often all of these little girls are consider themselves to not feel powerful in the world. So I feel like she helps them with that situation. But at the end of the day, I don't know. The Michael situation rubbed me the wrong way. The Matty Healy situation is rubbing me the wrong way.
Wait, what Michael
It's just
situation?
the guy on TikTok that created the fans. That's his
yeah,
thing.
sorry.
So like his situation rubs me the wrong way, when it's like I feel like she could have spared some change for that dance.
And maybe, yeah, okay, right.
Because she's using it every night on her tour.
Right. And I was going to say,
every single person knows where that dance came from.
Well, right, because somebody had to have seen it and copied it.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift, come on the pod.
Come on the pod.
That would be a get, huh?
Yeah, that would be something for sure.
We have a lot of questions.
We do.
So come on over. Come on over, baby. Okay. That is not a Taylor Swift song, but it is a song by another toxic white woman. So finally on the pop culture pop-up, Brian McKnight, Julie, you went viral.
Yeah.
You went viral for a little story that you told about Brian McKnight. So recap what is happening with Brian McKnight, and then tell us what happened on TikTok.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, Brian McKnight, we all know him. Well, apparently not all of us. A lot of people are like, who the fuck is Brian McKnight? I was like, oh my God, you're too young for this TikTok channel. Go block us immediately. So Brian McKnight, his song Back at One, he has another one called Someday, Some Way, Somewhere. So something like that. Who the fuck cares? He was married to a woman for like 17 years, don't quote me, for a long time. In the middle of that marriage, he had 2 kids, 2 boys with that woman. In the middle of that marriage, he had an affair, had a daughter, Brianna. The daughter, it was like a co-parenting situation. The current wife of 12, I'm adding years here out of nowhere, but the wife that he was with was like, she treated Brianna like her own. Then Brian left that marriage, got remarried. This new wife that he's currently with has older children already, not Brian McKnight's kids. He has stepchildren, and now they have a son together. Okay. His new son is named Brian McKnight Jr. His oldest son is named Brian McKnight Jr., and his daughter is named Brianna. Okay. There's a post on Instagram that has since been deleted where he goes and visits his stepdaughter at college, at a college where his daughter Brianna also goes to, but only went to visit the stepdaughter. Wrote a post on Instagram saying he was so proud of her, and he was so happy that she made him a girl dad. On his Instagram bio, he only has some of his children, a father of, and only some of their names, not all of their names, but all of the stepkids and all of the new baby. Brianna's not on there. And so people kind of were picking up on these slight remarks, well, not slight, very direct remarks he was making about his older children. And started talking about it. I made a TikTok. The one and only Teffy stitched it. And it's been crazy ever since.
Right.
It's been crazy ever since. Brian McKnight has since made a video saying that he
made a video in response to you?
No.
No, let's say that. He made a video in response to what you had to say?
He made a video in response to people freaking out about it.
Okay, you.
And he alleges that he used a word and that word is not coming to me.
Distance? Space.
there's a word. There is a word. When you have a family and you no longer talk to that family. Oh my God. Can you hear everyone yelling at us? Can you hear it? Because I can. I physically cannot go on if I don't know what this word is. One moment.
Okay.
One moment.
The exclusion, the
Estrangement.
Estrangement.
Jesus Christ.
It's a strange word.
Yeah. The estrangement was a mutual situation between his children, his older children, and him.
Okay.
It just doesn't, it's not adding up, Brian. It's not adding up, Brian, because he seems to be going insanely out of his way to hurt his past family. He also did an interview. He released an album semi-recently, and the journalist that interviewed him for that just released a clip of that. That was like, I found this a little bit weird, and now that everything's coming to light, now I really find it weird. Where he's talking about the love songs in his new album, which, by the way, I mean, didn't chart. So clearly the writing of the music is not going as well anymore. But he says how everything in this album, in this current album, is genuine, and he feels that. Prior to this, he has never made another song that was about anyone he actually loved. It was all just songwriting. You were married for 12 to 17 years, depending on who you ask. But you were married for that amount of time, and you're telling me none of the songs you wrote during that time were actually about love. And this is
Sounds
the first
like a
time
man
you
to
felt,
me.
and this is the first time you felt connected to somebody. Nasty behavior from not only Brian McKnight, but from the woman he's with, because this is not her fault, she is not to blame, but to be with someone that can do that to another part of his family, baby, it's just a matter of time before he does it to you.
Right. Teffy, come on the pod.
Teffy, I would love nothing more.
Did you ask her?
I not yet. I didn't know how to approach the situation. But when I tell you, my jaw was on the floor the minute I saw that stitch. I was on day one of being slowly in bed because I was depressed. And I like opened my eyes, randomly when I had been sleeping for the last 12 hours or something. And I saw it, and I actively got out of bed and had to pace.
People sent it to me.
Oh my God.
When I sent it to you, somebody had just sent it to me. Yeah. Multiple people sent it to me.
That is so crazy.
Yeah. And it was like, you guys made it.
Yeah. And we fucking felt like it. Let me tell you something.
Teffy and Jasmine in the same week. What is happening?
What a week.
What is happening here?
The universe knew that we needed a hug.
Watch this space, people.
Yes.
Watch this space. Watch us hosting the Oscars in a couple of months. Probably the Spirit Independent Awards, but that's totally fine as well.
You know what? That's a step in the right direction.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Brian, if that is your real name. Men are horrible.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty. That's going to do for the Pop Culture Pop-Up. We'll be back next week with more Pop Culture Chisme. Julie, do you have a Latinx spotlight for us?
Get your red stained fingers ready, because the movie about the person who created the Flaming Hot Cheetos is coming your way. Okay. That's right, babes. Someone a Mexican janitor created had the idea for the Flaming Hot Cheetos, and the film about him, called Flaming Hot, aptly named, a movie about the invention of Flaming Hot Cheetos, will be streaming on Hulu and Disney Plus on June 9th. It's directed by Eva Longoria, and it looks to be, honestly, my wildest dreams, because if there's one thing about me, I love my hot Cheetos. So I cannot wait to see how this invention came into my life. I'm very excited about it. Everyone should be tuning in. There's a lot of conversation right now about the lack of Latinx representation in the media. And here's the thing about that. There is a little bit of representation of us in the media, and we refuse to watch it. Hate to bring it up again, but if y'all don't watch Blindspotting, I'm like, these shows are out there, but they continue to get canceled because we won't watch them. It's like Julie with her little bullhorn. Like, anyone want to watch this, show that's on this? I get it, the streaming app that nobody downloads because no one knows what's on that channel. I would love for you guys to listen to me. There's a lot of good content out there, but people have to really seek it out because they don't get the marketing that they should behind it.
So the Flaming Hot Cheetos movie is going to be on Hulu?
Hulu and Disney Plus on June 9th.
Oh, nice. That's my mom's birthday.
Oh, I love that for her.
Do you have a Starz profile, or you have? Why do you?
I do. Well, I added to my Hulu.
Oh, you have room for Hulu profiles, or?
Yeah, I do. I can share it with you.
Oh, maybe.
We actually watch Blindspotting.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Not
Julie.
I got one. I got one down.
Julie rolling her eyes. Oh, will you actually watch it? How about you watch an episode of Vanderpump Rules?
You know what? I watched the whole season of Selling Sunset.
You did.
That was something.
You watched Survivor. And I
watched Survivor.
Yeah, I need to get back on Survivor. I go through like really intense periods of Survivor, and then I take a break, and then I have to go back.
It's too anxiety inducing.
Well, it's not anxiety inducing for me, but
it is to me. It absolutely is. I stress the fuck out.
Okay, I believe you. Believe you. Okay, thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
Time for some Azúcar. I will go first. My Azúcar this week is, well, I just, there's something about watching people that I've watched for 10, 15 years continue to share their lives on Bravo. That is just spectacular. This week, we have the season finales of Vanderpump Rules and The Real Housewives of New Jersey. And I think both shows have never been so intense. Scandival on Pump Rules has taken over the country. I mean, it's all anybody could talk about. They're talking about it on The View. They're talking about it on CNN. They're talking about it at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And next week we finally get the thing that we've all been waiting for, the episode where everybody finds out that Tom and Raquel have been fucking each other behind Ariana's back. And it has been, let me tell you, it has been painful and difficult to watch Ariana continue to defend and treat Tom and Raquel in the way that she does, with such love and just believing everything they say, and just knowing that they've been lying to her this entire time is crushing. And so next week we get to watch that, and then we get to watch the reunion after that. And on The Real Housewives of New Jersey, finally we're getting the season finale there, where I'm a little confused, to be honest with you, and maybe Nina, you can answer this for me. Nina from Newark, New Jersey. When does the wedding happen? When are we watching Teresa's wedding? Because I'm pretty sure next week is the season finale of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, and we haven't seen the wedding. Is there going to be a special? I haven't heard of the special. Anyways, Melissa and Teresa, they're going at it. They're going for each other's throats. The gloves are off. Nobody's pretending to like anybody anymore. Teresa and Melissa are sisters-in-law, and they do not like each other. And well, it is a moment most pleasing to me because I just love the drama. Anyways, I'm very excited, so can't wait.
I love that. Yes. I love that.
I mean, it's modern day Shakespeare, as far as I'm concerned.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. My azúcar this week is, what is my azúcar? To be honest, I had a really rough week. Sylvester has passed away. I'm not gonna cry. I've dealt with it. He's passed away, and that was really hard. I was in bed for 2 days, just casually. I'm very sad. My job is very kind. They gave me bereavement, so that was very sweet of them. And I was able to grieve and be as depressed as I wanted to be. And then the universe was like, you know what, bitch? You deserve a hug. And the universe brought me a Teffy interaction, a Jasmine Cephas Jones interview, which was absolutely insane. It happened. That's the only reason why I got out of bed, let's be honest. And I went out to get food in the middle of my grieving period, and my hair was up in a really nasty bun, and I would look like I had rolled out of bed because and I was wearing a very big oversized t-shirt, some shorts, and Converse, and my hair was in a really messy bun. And this lady was driving next to me, or like I was walking and she was driving in a parking lot, and she rolled down her window and she said, "I love your purple hair." And I said, and I started crying immediately. And I was like, I really needed that. And then she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad I said something." And I was like, in my car now before I embarrass myself. And she's like, "I'm so sorry you're having a bad day." And I was like, "Thank you for saying something." Because sometimes I feel like I want to, "Oh, I love your dress." And then you don't, a moment passes and then you leave. And it's like, no, sometimes you're just going to say something. You never know who needs a moment like that. And it was just like a really sweet, and I was like, "I know you're lying because my hair looks like shit." But that was just like a really nice thing to say. So my asuka is the universe knowing when to stop kicking me and to throw me a bone. And this week it threw me 3 in a very short span of time that I really needed it. And this podcast and writing about movies and seeking entertainers to like talk to has been like a journey for years. Like before this podcast existed, guys, I was doing this like on my own, like writing about movies for a very long time. For many years was I just writing into the universe, hoping that somebody would read it. And Dobby Diggs did at one point. And then that kept me pushing. Like I keep getting these little pushes. Brie Larson read one of my articles about the Me Too movement, and she tweeted me, and then that kept me pushing. Then Dobby Diggs read my Blindspotting review of the movie, and he sent me an Instagram DM. I'm just collecting Blindspotting cast members like you wouldn't believe it. And it's just a reminder to keep going. And though the last week I was like in a really bad mental health space where I wanted to like give it all up and be like, this isn't worth it. What are we doing? Like, we're just kind of doing it and it's not ever going to come of anything. I mean, of course, it's my terrible mental health, because I think we've all, us and you as the audience, have seen that there is growth, though in small increments, like it is happening. And the work is paying off. Both of our work is paying off. And I think now this week was just like another reminder of like, things are happening. Maybe you don't see this big push this big reminder that things are happening, but they are. And it's just what I needed. And I was telling my best friend this, and I'll tell you guys, like Sylvester was proud of me for like writing in my journal. That's all he needed for me to be proud of me. And so it honestly felt like Sylvester was like, "You know what, girlie, you're having it tough. Here's a little reminder that you're doing it. You're doing what you said you would do when we would sit here on Thanksgiving and you would be like, I need to get out of Anaheim. I fucking hate it here." And I did, and things are happening. So that's why it's so good to keep going, even though it's hard.
Julie, you're a star. That was beautiful, Julie.
Thank you.
You're gonna, oh my, this is incredible. Julie, you can find the video of Julie's interview with Jasmine Cephas Jones on our YouTube channel. So make sure you check that out. Congrats, Julie. What a week. What a week. Have your mom buy
let us
you
not
something.
forget
Uh-huh.
let us not forget, this is something happening under the Yumi and Chisme umbrella. This is both of our efforts. We are
Absolutely.
both here, and Adrian does his thing and I do my thing, and this is an us effort that we are seeing personified.
Absolutely. You'll be able to watch and listen because of moi.
Yeah, absolutely. If it were up to me, babies, that interview would live and die in my Google Drive. So
No, send it to me.
yeah, I will.
All right. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
That's gonna do it for us. I'm sure Sophia is itching to get her her Thea back. So Sophia, come on in.
She's like waiting by the door. Like, you said a couple minutes, lady. What's happening?
That's gonna do it for us. Make sure that you follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter at You, Me, and Chisme. Make sure you go over to our website at youmeandchisme.com. You can find all of Julie's reviews there. Sign up for the newsletter. Make sure that you share this podcast, leave a review, rate it, do all the fun things you could do with this podcast. Make sure you watch the Jasmine Cephas Jones interview on YouTube. Give it a like. Share that interview. And yeah, do all the great, wonderful things that you could do with this podcast. And we'll be back next week with more Chisme. But until then, make sure you have lots of love, lots of peace, and most importantly, lots of Chisme in your life. Bye.
Bye.